Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jainmudire. Ashtaprayasva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pratatne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasnatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakturanda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, 327:21. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Animitta Nimittena Swadharmenammalatmana Tivraya Mayi Bhaktya Cha Kruta Sambhritaya Chiram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me, and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. By thus executing one's prescribed duties, there will be no reaction and one will be freed from the contamination of matter. So Devoti are saying that will this material energies, they're attracted, mutually attracted to each other from time immemorial, the Atma and the Prakriti. So will Maya ever give up control? For that, Lord is answering simply, seriously, Tivrataya, Tivraya, serious, Tivraya Mai Bhaktya, Shruta Samvritaya, Chiram. For a long time you have to hear, hearing for a long time about me or from me. So this is why this Shravanam is very, very important for us to get free from Maya. And he's also saying, execute prescribed duties like this, meaning do devotional service, do Shravanam, along with that execute your prescribed duties. Then there'll be no reaction because we'll be doing everything for Krishna. Then one will be freed from the contamination of matter. Sridhar Swami comments in this connection that by association with material nature alone, one does not become conditioned. Conditioned life begins only after one is infected by the modes of material nature, not just being in association with material nature, because we are infected. That is why we, that is a problem. If someone is in contact with the police department, that does not mean that he's a criminal. As long as one does not commit criminal acts, even though there's a police department, he's not punished. Similarly, liberated soul is not affected, although he's in the material nature. Uh, so this is what we have to become. Liberated souls in material nature, not affected by material nature. Because then we know, okay, it's like the criminal and police department. I have nothing to do with this police department. The police department is there. Even the Supreme Person of Godhead is supposed to be in association with material nature when he descends, but he is not affected. One has to act in such a way that in spite of being in the material nature, he is not affected by contamination. Although the lotus flower is in association with water, it does not mix with the water. That is how one has to live, as described here by the person of Godhead, Kapiladev. In fact, this is the same instruction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. He said, just go and live. Don't show your renunciation outside, but internally be completely renounced. Be completely attached to Krishna. Externally, just do your duties. That's all. And internally, uh, be Krishna conscious. So external things, that contamination, they will be getting influenced by these external things should reduce gradually. Initially, it's very difficult, right? Because we completely come in that from that atmosphere of being influenced, attracted by all these material things around us. But slowly and steadily, as we do bhajan, as we do our bhakti, like what Kapil Muni is saying here, Tivrataya. Actually, this Tivra bhakti is mentioned multiple times in Bhagavatam. And I was just reading about the lives of all the various Goswamis, and actually they are actually showing this. And I was just thinking, saying, you know, these exalted souls, they've come from Goloka, all the Manjaris, and they're going to go back. Why are they having to demonstrate such intense devotional service? Because without that intense devotional service, getting Radha and Krishna is not cheap. It's not some cheap stuff. Uh, we have to go through austerities. We have to give up material attachments. Otherwise we can't go back. That's all. It's simple. It's okay. Yeah, we come to bhakti. Yeah, will we go away from bhakti? No, not if we don't want to go away, we won't go away. We will remain in bhakti, but we might be slow, and then we will make the guru also come back again next lifetime when we come here. And yeah, till we come make up our mind to do Tivra Bhakti, we might just be, you know, again come back into this material world. So we have to be careful, right? We simply lose time. We should understand the reality around us. This is all Maya, illusion. This is not reality. I mean, the reality is serving Radha and Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan. Everything else is just distracting us from this goal. Hmm. So we have to. So which is by hearing a long time. You have to continuously keep hearing. It's like, sometimes we try to advise youngsters, children. Same thing will keep repeating again and again and again and again because they're not able to understand and accept. And slowly, steadily, maybe at some point of time, maybe when they become more mature, when whatever, right? At some point of time, they might understand what we are saying. It's like that. We have to continuously hear the same thing again and again. No, you're not this body, your spirit, soul. Don't get attracted to material sense gratification. Live a life of Yukta Vairagya. Be serious about devotional service. Do all other duties as a just matter of fact, as a matter of duty, without getting attached to results. These things you have to keep hearing again and again. One side. On the other side, okay, the ultimate pleasure is uh, Premananda. He is in Krishna Prema. And we have to achieve Krishna Prema to be able to serve Radha and Krishna. That is the goal of our life. Everything else is just distraction. And we also experience some of the bliss in bhakti, and then it will draw us further into bhakti. So these things are same things. They're no new, nothing new, the same thing. But because we can't, these topics don't enter our heart. So we have to keep hearing again and again. And, service to Vaishnavas, hearing in the association of pure Vaishnavas, begging for mercy from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These things have to go on continuously with intensity. Then, at some point of time, Krishna will show mercy. But if we want to be casual about it, then we can't achieve this goal. It's like a very exalted goal, right? Process is Tivra Bhakti along with long time Shravanam. Uh, some chiram for a long time. One can be liberated from all adverse circumstances simply by seriously engaging in devotional service. How this devotional service develops and becomes mature is explained here. In the beginning, one has to perform his prescribed duties with a clean mind. Clean consciousness means Krishna consciousness. One has to perform his prescribed duties in Krishna consciousness. There is no necessity of changing one's prescribed duties. One simply has to act in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is saying same thing again and again. In discharging Krishna conscious activities, one should determine whether by his professional or occupational duties, Krishna is satisfied. In other place in Bhagavatam, it is said, Sanushtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Everyone has some prescribed duties to perform, but the perfection of such duties will be reached only if Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari is satisfied by such actions. For example, Arjuna's prescribed duty was to fight, and the perfection of his fighting was tested by the satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna wanted him to fight, and when he fought for the satisfaction of the Lord, that was the perfection of his professional devotional duty. A professional devotional duty. It's not just professional work. That work is devotional duty. On the other hand, when contrary to the wish of Krishna, he was not willing to fight, that was imperfect. If one wants to perfect his life, he should discharge his prescribed duties for the satisfaction of Krishna. One must act in Krishna consciousness, for such action will never produce any reaction. Is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, yajna arthat karmananyatra. All activities should be performed simply for yajna, for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Anything done otherwise without the satisfaction of Vishnu or yajna produces bondage. So here it is also prescribed by Kapila Muni that one can transcend material engagement by acting in Krishna consciousness, which means seriously engaging in devotional service. The serious devotional service can be developed by hearing for long periods of time, not getting bored of saying it's the same thing again and again. No. Serious devotional service can develop by hearing for long periods of time. So we can assume saying that those who are serious in devotional service have heard for a long period of time, not just in this life, in previous life. Standing at hearing is the beginning of the process of devotional service. One should associate with devotees and hear from them about the Lord's transcendental appearance, activities, disappearance, instructions, etc. It's not just about Leela, instructions. That is why Bhagavatam is the perfect medicine, because there's Leela and there is Upadesha. Both are there. Because Lord advises through his Leela, pastimes. The two kinds of Shruti are scripture. One is spoken by the Lord and the other is spoken about the Lord and his devotees. Bhagavad Gita is the former, Srimad Bhagavatam the latter. One must hear these scriptures repeatedly from reliable sources in order to become fixed in serious devotion service. See, process is very, very clear. Somebody wants to become fixed in serious devotional service, they have to repeatedly hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And once one has become fixed in serious devotional service, then he can go and also include Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then even more deeper, then also add Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Through engagement in such devotional service, one becomes freed from the contamination of Maya. So the focus is not the efforts are not towards freeing oneself from Maya. The efforts are towards fixing in serious devotion service. Then the contamination of Maya will go automatically. But till then, the contamination of Maya should not prevent us from engaging in fixed devotion service. Meaning, our contamination should not prevent us from doing sadhana regularly, serious sadhana. If our material contamination is preventing us from doing it, then we have to hold on to the lotus feet of some devotee, hold on to the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, hold on to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hold on to the lotus feet of Guru, and somehow beg for mercy so that the contamination doesn't prevent us from becoming fixed in serious devotional service. And all that we need to do is simply allocate time to do Shravanam. That's all. Here, if possible, in the association with devotees, anyway, when we are hearing from Srila Prabhupada and we're reading his purport, so we are in the association of the most purest devotee. So we don't have to worry, but we have to engage. We have to engage in this hearing process. See, we can understand why Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya, right? Because he knows exactly what medicine is required for us. While other contemporary speakers might speak something, right? It may be in line with what Prabhupada has written, it may not be in line, but we should understand that whatever is in line with what Srila Prabhupada is writing is the actual medicine. Whatever else is just helping us to actually come and receive this medicine finally. By hearing about other leelas, this, that, and all that, we might get attracted to end up in reading Srila Prabhupada's books. There's no other way. We can't make progress without drowning ourselves in Srila Prabhupada's books. And Srila Prabhupada is going to hammer repeatedly, is going to hammer the same thing. Nothing new we might feel. Of course, there are a lot of things, but because we are so stuck at this contamination level only. We cannot enter into the depths of so many things that Prabhupada has mentioned in his purports because we can't really understand it. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that hearing about the Supreme Person of Godhead cleanses the heart of all contamination caused by the influence of the three modes. All we have to do is somehow engage in hearing. The continuous regular hearing, the effects of the contamination of lust and greed to enjoy or lord it over material nature diminish. And when the lust and greed diminish, one then becomes situated in the mode of goodness. It's a very simple process. Shunnatam Swadaka Swakata Krishna Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Abhadrani Vidunoti Surutsatam. Bhagavatam, first canto only there is mentioned. Right, so just continuous regular hearing. And if that continuous regular hearing is not diminishing our material fever, then we are not doing proper hearing. This also I have told multiple times. This is a stage of Brahman realization, spiritual realization. In this way, one becomes fixed on the transcendental platform. Remaining fixed on the transcendental platform is liberation from material entanglement. So we have to become situated in mode of goodness, which is stage of Brahman realization. So for which we have to just continuous regular hearing. And we have to see the effects of lust and greed diminishing. Lust and greed have to diminish. Otherwise, our hearing is not good. We have to reconsider. We have to rethink what is going wrong. Right? So it's very important yet very simple process. Serious devotional service. To achieve serious devotional service, one has to just do hearing for a long time. And we have to hear Prabhupada, basically. That's what we need to hear. ज्ञानेन दृष्टतत्त्वेन वैराग्येण बलीयसा तपोयुक्तेन योगेन तीव्रेणात्मसमाधिना. Again, this devotion service has to be performed strongly. Again, in perfect knowledge and with transcendental vision, perfect knowledge. Sambandha Gnana, Videya Gnana, Prayojana Gnana, perfect knowledge. And with transcendental vision, we should see everything not on the bodily platform but on the vision platform of the soul. One must be strongly renounced and must engage in austerity, of course, and perform mystic yoga. But for us also, we must be strongly renounced. But this is Yukta Vairagya, not Falgu Vairagya, Markata Vairagya, Smashana Vairagya. In order to be firmly fixed in self-absorption. So if it's a very simple thing, right? Always we should remember this. Either it is self-absorption, that is absorption in Atma, or absorption in Deha. So it's either absorption in self or absorption in body. So it can be one or the other. It cannot be both. Now, if you have to take out or come out of this bodily absorption, then we have to renounce and not be affected by what is happening to the body. Otherwise, we'll remain in bodily absorption. So it has to be again, bhakti has to be performed strongly, gnana and vairagya. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be performed blindly and due to material emotion or mental concoction. Specifically mentioned here that one has to perform devotional service in full knowledge. By visualizing the absolute truth, we can understand about the absolute truth by evolving transcendental knowledge. The result of such transcendental knowledge will be manifested by renunciation. See, if you are actually hearing properly, automatically renunciation should happen. Because if we are hearing and letting the topic enter our heart, it cannot be that we are materially attached. Like I said, it's just Prabhupada's purports that have had an impact on me. Nothing, I have not done anything else. I don't know anything else. But it's so powerful. So powerful. That renunciation is not temporary or artificial, but is very strong. I said the development of Krishna consciousness is exhibited by proportionate material detachment or vairagya. If one does not separate himself from material enjoyment, it is to be understood that he is not advancing in Krishna consciousness. See, the important thing here is not whether that desire is there in the heart or not. The important thing here is that we should separate ourselves. Meaning, we should not put ourselves in situations of material enjoyment. We should separate ourselves. Maybe it's okay. Maybe that is still there in our heart, but because we are doing bhakti, that bija, that whatever propensities also will go away in course of time. But if we put ourselves in situations of material enjoyment, then nothing can help. Nobody can help. Renunciation, Krishna consciousness is so strong that it cannot be deviated by any attractive illusion. See, Haridas Thakur. One has to perform devotion service in full tapasya. One should fast on the 2 Ekadashi days and on the birthdays of Lord Krishna, Rama, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are many such fasting days. Yogena means by controlling senses and mind. Yoga Indriya Samyamaha. Yogena implies that one is seriously absorbed in the self and is able, by development of knowledge, to understand his constitutional position in relationship with the super self. In this way, one becomes fixed in devotion service, and his faith cannot be shaken by any material allurement. So, again, the same thing is being discussed in more detail. Prakriti Purushasyeha Dayamanatva Aharnisham Tiro Bhavitri Sanakher Agneryo Nivarnai. The influence of material nature has covered the living entity, and thus it is as if the living entity were always in a blazing fire. Just this, we have to just understand this. Material consciousness means we are in a blazing fire. Again, but by the process of seriously discharging devotional service, this influence can be removed. So 3 verses consecutively, Prabhupada has highlighted this serious. Just as wooden sticks which cause a fire are themselves consumed by it. See how serious our bhakti should be. Just as the wooden sticks are burned by fire. So all these so-called material attachments should burn. Fire is conserved in wooden sticks, and when circumstances are favorable, the fire is ignited. But the wooden sticks which are the cause of the fire are also consumed by the fire if it is properly dealt with. Similarly, the living entity's conditional life is due to his desire to lord it over material nature, and due to his envy of the Supreme Lord. This also we discussed yesterday. Thus, his main diseases are that he wants to be one with the Supreme Lord. He wants to become the Lord of material nature. The karmis try to utilize the resource of material nature and thus become its Lord and enjoy sense gratification. Jnanis, they want to become one with the Supreme Lord. They are frustrated with material resources. These 2 diseases are due to material contamination. Material contamination can be consumed by devotional service. Because in devotion service, these 2 diseases, namely to lord it over material nature or to become one with the Lord, are absent. Therefore, cause of material existence is at once consumed by the careful discharge. See again, see the selection of word. Careful discharge, not casual discharge, not careless discharge. Careful discharge. We have to be very careful about what we are doing. We should not just assume that anything and everything is okay in bhakti. There are rules. Why Srila Rupa Goswami? Srila Rupa Goswami, he could have just given us, just rasa and just, Leelas, Radha Krishna, and, no, but he gave Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Oh, it's really a huge ocean. We just get drowned. And why so many rules, regulations, this, that, and all that? Because we can't take it casually. We can't just, we can't override the rules there by saying, no, Krishna only sees bhava. This is mental speculation. If Krishna only saw bhava, then Rupa Goswami didn't have to give us all these rules of seva parad or nama parad, etc. So if we are not careful, we are not going to make progress. We might be thinking we are making progress. That's just our illusion, that's all. So we have to be very, very careful and serious. A devotee in full Krishna consciousness appears superficially to be a great karmi, always working, but the inner significance of the devotee's activities is that they are meant for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Of course, this doesn't mean that a devotee is working in factory or in office. He is working for Krishna full time. Arjuna was apparently a fighter, but when by his fighting he satisfied the sense of the Lord, he became a devotee. Since a devotee always engages his philosophical research to understand the Supreme Person as he is, his activities may thus appear to be like those of a mental speculator. But actually, he is trying to understand the spiritual nature and transcendental activities. And thus, although the tendency for philosophical speculation exists, the material effects of fruitive activities and empirical speculation do not, uh, because this activity is meant for the Supreme Person of God. So basically, Prabhupada is saying this karma and gnana, uh, uh, without bhakti, then this karma and gnana is worthless, right? But when karma and gnana are directed towards bhakti, meaning we are doing karma to execute devotional service, to accumulate money for, so that we are able to actually serve Krishna, and we are getting gnana to understand Krishna, then they don't become obstacles. Otherwise, anyavilashitashunyam gnana karma dhanam prati, not pure devotional service. So again, careful, serious discharge will destroy all the anarthas of material of this all our anarthas. भुक्त भोगा परित्यक्ता दृष्टदोषा च नित्यशः नेश्वरस्याशुभं दत्ते स्वे महिम्नि स्थितस्य च. By discovering the faultiness of his desiring to lord it over material nature, see, discovering the faultiness, and by therefore giving it up, the living entity becomes independent, stands in his own glory. See, we can stand in our own glory if we simply realize that this is a fault. This desiring to lord it over material nature, sense enjoyment, is a fault, is a dosha. And by just discovering this and giving it up, we stand in our own glory, which means that we come to the position of Jiva, of Atma. Because the living entity is not actually the enjoyer. His attempt to lord it over material nature is that ultimate frustrated. See, it's so clear. It's frustrated. It's going to be frustrated. Our desires are not going to be fulfilled. As a result of frustration, it desires more power than ordinary living entity, and thus wants to merge into the existence of Supreme Enjoyer. Being an ordinary jiva is useless. I want to become Supreme Enjoyer. Then only I'll get everything. So then this is the path of Gnana. In this way, he develops a plan for greater enjoyment. So karma and gnana are just plans for greater enjoyment. When one is actually situated in devotional service, that is his independent position. Less intelligent men cannot understand the position of the eternal servant of the Lord. But the word servant is used, because the word servant is used, they become confused. They cannot understand that this servitude is not the servitude of this material world. To be the servant of the Lord is the greatest position. If one can understand this and can thus revive one's original nature of eternal relationship with the Lord, one stands fully independent. A living entity's independence is lost by material contact. In the spiritual field, he has full independence, and therefore there's no question of becoming dependent upon three modes of material nature. This is what Prabhupada means here by full independence, not that we'll become independent of Krishna. This position is attained by a devotee, and therefore he gives us the tendency for material enjoyment after seeing its faultiness. The difference between a devotee and an impersonalist is that an impersonalist tries to become one with the Supreme so that he can enjoy without impediment, whereas a devotee gives up the entire mentality of enjoying and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. That is his constitutional glorified position. At that time, he is Ishvara, fully independent. The real Ishvara or Parama Ishvara, Supreme Independent is Krishna. The living entity is Ishvara only when engaged in the service of the Lord. Why? Because otherwise he's again controlled by Maya. But when he's engaged in the service of the Lord, that bondage is gone. So he's free, he's independent. In other words, transcendental pleasure derived from loving service is actual independence. So if you want actual independence, now we want to be independent and do things the way we want, not want to follow authority, surrender to authority. But that is not actual independence. That is, we are just continuing our bondage for more time. The moment we give up this independence, then we will actually get independence when we experience transcendental pleasure. That is actual independence. So to achieve that transcendental pleasure, we should give up this so-called independence that we have retained to remain independent and do things the way we want. So we have to actually see how many of us have actually given up this independence. How many of us have actually given up this independence and simply accepted authority as whole and soul? So here, verse is clearly saying that we have to discover this faultiness and this desire, this independence, desire to be independent is why because we want to lord it over material nature. Because if we give up that independence, then we have no scope for sense gratification. So we don't want to give it up. But we should see that it's a fault. It's a fault, and then we should give it up. Okay, stop here. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji.
Sorry, can I leave early today because I have to go to Subhanjay this thing? Please give me
Thank you. Yeah.
permission. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu, and Hare Krishna to everybody.
Dandavat. Okay. Any questions, anybody?
Prabhu?
Yeah.
Prabhu, yesterday you were saying about basically Mayapur when we are going and how you are preparing. So can you guide us, like what should be the mood when we are going to this dham one, and how can we prepare, and what should be the way how we can also look into this?
Yeah. Anyway, so it's maybe not relevant for everybody, but in general, when we are going to the dham, first of all, we have to know about the glories of the dham. Okay, first of all, before that, taking a step back, right? We are not going for the dham for seeing places, right? We are going for purification. We are going for mercy, right? So we should, I know because when I was working and when I used to go to these yatras, I used to take this opportunity to just pack off all my material stuff. Meaning, I'm not going to carry any baggage into the dham, right? No office email checking, no this, no that. So first thing is cut yourself off from the material world for those days. And that is the first thing. Because otherwise it will simply keep getting back to Bangalore, and I have to do this. And don't think, okay, 9 days, okay, I have to come back on 29th, then I have to do this on 30th. No, just forget about all that, right? So when we go to the dham, we have to just live in the present, right? And we have to absorb ourselves as much as possible in katha and chanting and kirtan. To prepare yourself, like tie your chanting bag to your hand, if possible, like such that you cannot remove it. Right. So no prajalpa, no trying to enjoy sense gratification, because bliss will come when we are in the yatra, or naturally we'll experience spiritual bliss. So we don't have to do other things like, like we might be doing, trying to relax for some time. I see a lot of devotees, they say, oh, so much from morning we've been running around, I want to relax. I say, like, whole year you can do whatever else you want, right? But when you're in the dham, you should be extra eager to say, why are we wasting time? Why am I just sitting around and doing nothing? Why can't why can't we just hear something? Why can't we just do kirtan? Why can't we? So we should always be eager to do shravanam, to do seva. Uh, so this is very important. Second, yeah, seva. So, there are lots of opportunities to do Vaishnava seva. right? All the devotees with whom we'll be traveling are all Vaishnavas. So we should take the opportunity to serve them. They'll be on the train, we'll be serving prasadam, so you can join with. And it's not just for Prabhus, even Matajis can do, whoever, then if you get some books, you can try to distribute books on the train. Uh, so engage as much as possible in service. Don't think that we are guests. And yeah, we paid we paid money for the yatra. Somebody needs to take care of us. No, we are here to, Dham visit should do two things for us, right? One is our false ego has to get destroyed. Our absorption in Krishna consciousness has to increase. That has to be a result of a yatra. Hmm. So for that we have to engage in service. We have to knock off our false ego, and yeah, more importantly, many other dham related etiquettes we will speak about that in the train or on the first day of the session. But generally, respect dhamvasis, respect all devotees that have come. There'll be so many things we have to adjust with other devotees. Things might not be as convenient as we expect, etc. So all those things should be put aside, right? Don't evaluate anything materially. And specifically about the dham, etc. In the train, we will be speaking katha. But generally, like I said yesterday also, right? Mayapur or Navadvip is for mercy, right? It's we can't get so much mercy even in Vrindavan, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here and he is just distributing mercy, right? So we have to go with that mood to just get as much mercy as possible. Don't go. We should not hold back ourselves from making progress in bhakti. We should not go and make, like we're afraid. What if we become too surrendered? We should not become afraid. Krishna is not going to leave our hands, and so wholeheartedly we should ask, we should beg for mercy to make progress, and not limited progress. We'll be greedy. So Navadvip Dham itself is so powerful for people who are not aspiring for bhakti. It will remove all sins. It has the power to remove all sins, right? And then for those who are practicing devotees, it can award Krishna prema. It can remove offenses and reward Krishna prema, give Krishna prema. So Navadvip is very, very merciful, very, very merciful. So we're going to do a lot more Shravanam about the place, about the dham and glories, etc. But at a very high level, these things. I mean, this is true for any yatra. So which is why I'm just continuing to speak with the rest of devotees as well. And this has to be moved for any yatra. That is why I myself don't go till now. Not even once have I gone to any yatra by myself. As in, I have not gone to Mayapur or Vrindavan by myself, right? Like me and my family or something like that, right? Because we will never be able to get into the mood of the dham. That can happen only in association devotees. So don't do these independent trips. Those who are doing, somehow try to align with some devotees association, because inevitably there'll be some senior devotees, and then they'll speak some uh, important things about the dham. We can hear from them. We can purify. We can be in the right mood. uh, so it's very, very important for those who can. For those who cannot, Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami's separation. Raghunath Das Goswami in the end of his life, when actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared, Swarup Damodar Goswami disappeared, Rupa Goswami disappeared, Sanatan Goswami disappeared, everybody disappeared. And he was living his life in so much separation that he could actually not, I mean, he was not even eating. First of all, he was only taking palm full of buttermilk. That's all for the whole day, palm full of buttermilk. Then after, I think one of the Goswamis left. I think he stopped. He started taking palm full of water. And finally, after Rupa Goswami also left, I think he just stopped completely. And he was constantly in separation, saying that, where are you all? Uh, so, yeah, we should always be in separation from Mayapur and Vrindavan. This is our Gaudiya Parampara. But yeah, we are separation. We're so attracted to our material things, so no question of separation. But slowly and steadily, our sadhana should take us in this direction, and these yatras make a big impact. Make a big impact. I remember first time I'd gone to Vrindavan. I mean, it just literally changed my life. I don't know what happened actually. I came back and I was a totally different person. So these yatras, if we open ourselves for mercy, open our hearts to let the mercy flow through, it can change our life. And yeah, it's okay if it changes us drastically. Also, it's all for the good. So yeah, this is generally the mood for any yatra.
Okay, thanks, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Anybody?
Prabhu, this is Vinod.
Yeah, yes.
So if it is not a deviation from the current topic, I mean, can we discuss one time the Mahatmya of like Mayapur Dham and all? Because we have not really read Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book. Now the
Yeah. Tirtha Mahatmya. Yeah,
so
yeah,
if
we
we
can
can
do
just get a
maybe
quick,
once I come back.
I mean, yeah,
Once you come back from yatra, we'll
sure,
be
sir. One small glimpse into that.
yeah, sure, we can do.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you. Sir.
okay, right. Okay, so we can close here. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, समवेता गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।